Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School. Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 12 p.m., Sean Levy, your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com Sports Update brought to you by Illinois Media School. Of course, we got the Chicago Cubs lost to the Dodgers 2-1. They play again at 9:10 p.m. today. Chicago White Sox play the Twins today at 7:10 p.m. They play again tomorrow at 7:10 p.m. In the World Cup, in the Group A, Saudi Arabia beat Egypt 2-1. Egypt has been out of the World Cup. Uruguay beat Russia 3-0. In Group A, Iran and Portugal tied the game 1-1. In Group C, Spain versus Morocco tied Peru. Peru beat Australia 2-0. And France and Denmark are now in a full-time 0-0. Iceland versus Croatia started today at 1 p.m. Nigeria versus Argentina starts at 1 p.m. Tomorrow morning, Mexico versus Sweden at 9 a.m. Germany versus South Korea at 9 a.m. Group E, Serbia versus Brazil tomorrow at 1 p.m. Switzerland versus Costa Rica tomorrow at 1 p.m. This update has been brought to you by Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, please make sure to go to beonair.com. I'm your host, Sean Levy.
Like George, and it's just gonna be one thing, just gonna be constantly going through my head to the death. We're gonna go to the death. I'm not gonna stop. I'm willing to die. I'm gonna go serious, George. I'm gonna go to the death. I'm going to try to kill you, and I'm not joking about this.
The guy says, are you going to decide to put the guy in knockout for once, or are you just going to do your minimum? I said you should try to step in the octagon and try it.
She reached out to shake my hand after that fight. She wouldn't have done that if it was just us in a gym alone. That was an action that was influenced by being watched. Me not shaking her hand was an action despite being watched.
Clean fight. Touch gloves, let's make it official.
Watch here, Sean. We're going spinning now.
Got this.
With martial arts is to make a point. Dude, I'm trying to end it. Checkmate.
So now it's going to be beast mode, which is mode stage.
All right, it's 12:05 p.m. Sean Levy, your most action-packed 2 hours. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fight Reports, June 26, 2018. 12:04 p.m. We got UFC featherweight Steve Pearson will be on the show to talk about his fight against Matt Bissett. UFC, The Ultimate Fighter 27 finale, June 6th in Vegas. Former Legacy Fighting Championship Bantamweight champions looking for his first win in the octagon after a rough debut last February in his home state. Also, at 1 p.m., we've got Wisconsin heavyweight pro Kalen Hull in studio to discuss his upcoming fight against Jordan Sepher, Pure Fighting Championship 9, July 29th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Kalen is 4-0 and won his LFA debut. At 1:40 p.m., we call it the 10th Planet Gym, owner-operator of multiple locations and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach. Kelly Halstead will be on the show to talk about his upcoming fighters he trains with, including UFC middleweight Julian Marquez, who fights Alessio Di Chirico at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale July 6th in Vegas. Sean Lamb, Rick Sanchez. We're going to give predictions for UFC Singapore. We're going to go over MMA headlines and listen live to the most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fightlete Report. And right now, we are not on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. There is a issue, some kind of server issue right now. So make sure to tune in on Facebook Live, and we're also live on YouTube. Unfortunately, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com website is currently done, and it's not down, and we are not able to broadcast on there. So we encourage you to check us out on Facebook and on YouTube as well. We are on YouTube Live as well as Facebook. So, want to tell everybody what's been going on. We've got a lot of news coming in through Bellator and UFC. Lots of news coming in the pipeline today. And we start off with Gegard Mousasi. He's going to defend the Bellator middleweight title against Rory McDonald in September. First of all, this is going to be an amazing fight. We've seen Gegard Mousasi defeat Rafael Carvalho at Bellator 200 to win the title. And, of course, Rory McDonald defeated longtime champion Douglas Lima to win his first major title in his career. And this is going to be an exciting fight. I can't wait to talk more about this on the Fight Report as we move along. Curtis Blades wants Francis Ngannou for a rematch, if not a title shot. If he doesn't get the title shot, he wants Ngannou. That was his first loss in his UFC. I believe that was his debut in the UFC back in 2016. So Chicago's own Curtis Blades wants an opportunity. Bellator, which is now owned by Viacom, home to the world's premier entertainment brands, and DAZN, the world's largest dedicated sports streaming service and part of the Perform Group today, announced a multi-year landmark distribution agreement. It's a 9-figure deal. It will feature 7 exclusive stacked fight cards per year on DAZN and another 15 that are simulcast across Paramount Network. All fights will stream in any country where DAZN is available, and it's part of the platform's global expansion. DAZN will launch in the U.S. and Italy in 2018. The service is already live in Canada, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Japan. Big news for Bellator, gained that global distribution partner in DAZN or DAZN. That's a big news for them, as you know, many know that they would not be able to air many of the events live due to the Paramount Network's scheduling conflicts, such as Bellator 200, which was aired after it happened and after the results were already announced. So this is a big news with their global distribution partner. Former UFC star Leona Machida signs a multi-fight deal with Bellator. Diego Tavares plans on the appealing of the bizarre Professional Fighter League 2 loss. Longtime manager calls for an Illinois rule change, and this happened at Professional Fighters League 2 last Thursday night. As we were there in attendance, Diego Tavares, unfortunately, with a tough loss. And, that was a really bad loss. He was given the full 5 minutes to recuperate after a low blow. And after that, they waved off the fight, and that was very controversial, I believe, at this time. Something has to be looked in. There was and we go back to PFL 2. There was a lot of controversial rules and lots of stuff that happened that was not accurate, So there was a lot of stuff that was going on that wasn't right, and I feel like at this point, a lot of stuff has to be addressed. The Illinois Athletic Commission, of course, has long been controversial in their calls and their stances. Of course, just recently we had UFC 225 when, of course, the fighter Yoel Romero did not make weight, and he wasn't given the appropriate time to cut the weight. His weight cut was cut short as well. And then, and of course, like these stoppages that, they would literally stop the fight. Instead of 5 minutes into the next round, it would be 5 minutes and 1 second into the next round or something. So even though the fight was stopped in between rounds. So, yeah, a lot of stuff that was going on with Professional Fighters League 2. But I thought it was a good event, and can't wait to see more from them. But, yeah, Diego Tavares definitely deserves the opportunity to the plan to appeal that loss because that was a tough one. Robert Whitaker calling BS on magical changes that made Yoel Romero look better in the octagon in their last performance. And of course, Robert Whitaker is referring to the fact that, he has a checkered past, as Yoel Romero being on steroid abuse and PDA abuse as well. Greg Hardy, the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series winner, injured his knee during an arena football game days after earning a UFC contract recently. This is interesting because the fact that, he had the contract won, he's supposed to be taking a fight before making his UFC debut. And yet he's playing in the Reno Football League during all this, and he injures his knee. It has to seem like a bonehead move. In my opinion, that's a bonehead move. You would think that he would be done with football if he's training full-time as a mixed martial artist, and he just had the opportunity of a lifetime with the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. But unfortunately, he went ahead and he still continued to play. And I think that's definitely a bad thing to happen. Really horrific. Bellator signed CFFC interim champion Ricky Bandejas to a multi-fight deal. And former UFC heavyweight champion Josh Barnett negotiating release from UFC over USADA mistrust. Of course, Josh Barnett was recently won a court case against USADA, claiming that he had violated the anti-doping policy, and he came up with the right defense and was cleared. In result, he wants the opportunity to leave the UFC. He wants nothing to do with USADA at this time, and we'll see if that happens for him. Hopefully he gets his release as well. But yeah, just to go back on the point, we saw that was Robert Watley and Thiago Tavares. It looks like that fight might be considered to be a no contest after the appeal. It was a TKO leg kick, 35 seconds in the second round, but we clearly saw Watley connecting on a low blow, and Thiago Tavares was not able to answer the bell after given 5 minutes to recover. So just a note on that, Robert Watley and Thiago Tavares, it looks like it will be turned to a no contest at PFL2. And it was like a night where we saw a lot of crazy stuff, Rakeem Cleveland won it was a second into the third round against Rashid Yusupov. And this caused some points because you get points by not only finishing the fight, but also by ending the fight earlier. And earlier. So if the fight goes to the third round, you get less points. You get 4 points instead of 6 points. And Rakeem Cleveland, that definitely cost him. When you have stoppages like that cost you points, something has to be done. Something has to be looked into. Because there's no way. As also with Brandon Halsey and Smiliano Rama. Rama was unable to answer the call after the second round. However, due to some illogical reason, 1 second into the third round, the fight was stopped. If the fighter can't answer the bell, the fight should be stopped. It shouldn't even go to 1 second. You know what I'm saying? It should be 5 minutes into the second round, the fight stopped. It shouldn't go into the third round. And that cost Brandon Halsey points too. So with this new system of the Professional Fighters League, it's costing people points. And, I think that this is definitely a problem moving forward into the Professional Fighters League. And we have to make sure in the future, the Illinois Commission has to do their job as well and make this a priority to change. So that's some of the news coming out. But yeah, moving forward, guys, we got a big show stacked today. So stay tuned. You listen to the most action-packed 2 hours. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fight Report. We'll be back after this.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
John, I know what the Fightlete Report. Rick, Amanda Nunes is the most dominant women's fighter today. Her heart is unmatched. Skills in striking are unparalleled. Game this close to breaking Raquel Pennington to the lioness is hungry. She's going to fight Cyborg. I've got Amanda Nunes.
I'm going with Chris Cyborg on this. I give credit to Amanda Nunes with her courage because this fight is going to be bloody.
This is live Tuesday at 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
John, I know what the Fightlete Report. Rick, Amanda Nunes is the most dominant women's fighter today. Her heart is unmatched. Skills in striking are unparalleled. Game this close to breaking Raquel Pennington to the lioness is hungry. She's going to fight Cyborg. I've got Amanda Nunes.
I'm going with Chris Cyborg on this. I give credit to Amanda Nunes with her courage because this fight is going to be bloody.
This is live Tuesday at 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
This week on Deck. Find out if the Caps will finish the Stanley Cup. Or will the Vegas Golden Knights extend the series?
Welcome to the main event of the evening.
Plus, we get into the NBA Finals. Will the Warriors be back-to-back champs? I'm making people happy. Also, we get into Cubs and Sox baseball. Make sure to tune in On Deck with me, Charles Pride Ritchie, Sid the Kid, and Corey Barber every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
It's a great time to be a sports fan in Chicago. The Bears have wrapped up OTAs. We're less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft. and the Cubs and Sox are well into their seasons. On Second City Sports, we break down and analyze all the latest breaking news and notes from across the sports landscape. So join Jay Pfeiffer and Lakina McGee every Thursday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where it's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Can you count, suckers? We have a problem if you can count.
With trucks driving a tank, rolling over a bank, hot female bank is drafted. I'm taxed for limit for show. I was fasted the minute I woke. Pushing shots across into the street till they hit me. Your bitch been beat the minute I step on the street. This is sport music.
You know why my head's so numb?
All right, Sean Lane, we are back on the most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fightlete Report. And I want to thank Rick joining me in studio, man. How's it going, brother? I know last week you weren't in studio, man. What was going on with you, bro?
I don't know, man. It was just some kind of rash that's all over, man.
Well, the thing was, I didn't want you coming in here, and we had fighters from PFL. Now, you know, I know they say any news is good news, or any press is good publicity is good publicity, but could you make publicity if the rash spread it and 2 fighters had to cancel out of PFL? Man. Thanks to you. That's the last thing we needed, Rick, right?
Nah, man. I'm just saying, man. Like, I wanted to go, but after you told me not to risk it,
yeah, man. Especially the fighters, and I appreciate you doing that. But yeah, I mean, is that funny though to think about? In MMA, it's funny. Like the drop of a hat, a main event fight is off like hours before the main event, before it happens. So hopefully that doesn't happen with 226. No. UFC 226. Let's talk about that, Rick. It's Saturday, July 7th. It's in Vegas. It's on pay-per-view. You know, DC versus Stipe. This is a super fight. And one thing we can look about this fight, man, how amazing of a card it is. It's gonna be probably one of the biggest cards in Vegas ever. But the fact remains, the last 3 years, International Fight Weekend, that first weekend in Vegas, the main event has been canceled for the past 3 years.
Man.
That's a statistic. That's a fact.
Well, let's go back, man. From what was
UFC? Well, let's go back to UFC 189. Conor McGregor was supposed to fight Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo pulled out, so he fought Chad Mendes. Mm-hmm. So that fight canceled. UFC 200 in 2016. John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. A mere days before the fight. And remember, Conor McGregor and Chad Mendes, that was 2 weeks prior they announced it.
Yeah.
This was mere 2 to 3 days. Oh. They were in a mad scramble because John Jones got tested positive by USADA. He's out of the main event. All of a sudden now, Daniel Cormier stuck without an opponent. They move him down to fight Anderson Silva. He's no longer defending his belt. And Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes was considered to be the main event because that was the only major title on the line.
Yep.
So, and then 2017, last year, that card fell apart faster than a bus. Going down a rocky road. That card, first of all, had 2 title fights. It had Garbrandt and Dillashaw. It had Nunes Shevchenko. Garbrandt Dillashaw fell out. It had Donald Cerrone and Robbie Lawler. That fight fell out. That can't cancel. That's 2 fights canceled. They added Whitaker Romero. The day of, I'm talking about, and I was there in Vegas a couple hours before. Nunes is pulled out of the fight with Shevchenko.
Yeah, that was
that's 3 fight cancellations.
I was right there close to ordering it till after I heard, I was like, what?
Yeah, man, that was the only time I went to a UFC event, and they told us at the door, do you want a refund? Go get your refund. Basically, they told us Nunes is not fighting. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I went to a UFC event. They made sure, go out of their way to tell you that she wasn't fighting. So that's crazy, you know? So I'm hoping everything stays intact this year. And we've got a great card. We've got the Ultimate Fighter finale. We're going to give over the predictions today for Ultimate Fighter finale.
Got you.
I hope you look those over. 226 predictions. I'm hoping to have it with my guy, Gorgeous George, on Fightlete Report International Fight Weekend podcast. It's going to be dropping next week. And hoping to have interviews with Julian Marquez and among others. And Steven Peterson we're talking to today. He's going to be a part of the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale. Nice. So, yeah, but we're looking at 225, man. I love this card, man. It's every fight matters. Yeah, 226. You're right. You're right, man.
225 just passed.
I know. But listen, brain fart there aside, we got Holloway, Ortega, that's gonna be great. Ngannou, Lewis, that's first of all that's gonna be a war. Knowing these two guys, they love to finish fights. Both of them love to finish. I don't feel like that's gonna go past the second round. I think that fight's gonna be ended in the second round. Holloway and Ortega is also an interesting fight. We've seen Ortega come in there and just demolish guys, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the first time Max Holloway defended his belt against someone not Jose Aldo. You know what I mean? He's not fighting Jose Aldo since being the champion. And he's had a rough go of things because he was supposed to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov for the lightweight title, and he was going to become a two-division champion. All of a sudden, that fight didn't happen, remember? And so he was able to make weight. The weight commission, the commission came in and stopped him from cutting the necessary weight to make the fight. When that happened, then Max Holloway, that was a tough fight for him to take. First of all, he fought in December, and then he's going to fight. Well, he's supposed to fight March against, I believe it was Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
And that fight just doesn't seem destined to happen. Frankie Edgar lost to Ortega. Ortega got his spot, but leading into April, they said let's put Holloway, and he is just coming back, I think, off knee surgery or something. And he leg injury, and he was in bad shape, and he came in and he didn't make the weight. So finally, we're going to see him fight someone other than Jose Aldo for the past year. That's all he's fought in the past year. So I'm excited to see him as champion defend the belt against someone new. And Brian Ortega is a monster, man.
Man, you can't
14 and 0. Oh, this is going to be an amazing fight. I think this is going to be probably. They're both great fights. And then we got Miocic and Cormier. So yeah, well, I'm going to give my official predictions next week, man. But as we look at the main card, man, we got Lando Venata, Drakkar Klose in the prelims, Jamie Moyle, Emily Whitmire, Dan Hooker, Gilbert Burns. These are all. Look at all these people's records, man. You're seeing their records? Very good. Melender versus Max Driven. That's one I'm looking forward to. Of course, Melender is coming from Legacy Fighting Alliances, the former welterweight champion, and that's going to be a fun fight. I feel like that's going to be a barn burner right there. That should be one of the best fights of the night. We have Sun Sao, Rob Font in the bantamweight division, and Mike Perry, Yancy Medeiros, Paulo Costa, Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall finally making his return. I hope he doesn't have any weight cut issues after what he said. He had a heart attack during that last weight cut in St. Louis. Remember that? Yeah. That? He said that he actually had heart. It was considered to be like a minor heart attack, and he had to pull out of the fight. He couldn't make the weight, which is insane, right? You think about it. So hopefully Uriah Hall is going to be ready and primed for a really great fight as well. I feel like that it's going to be a great night of fights, a great event, and I can't think of any card. There's not one fight I don't want to see on this card. You know, Gokhan Saki versus Khalil Roundtree. That's going to be a great lightweight fight. These guys love to bang.
Oh, definitely with Jamie for the early prelims, even Jamie
Moyle, yeah, Emily Whitmire. That's a lone woman's fight on the card, and I feel that's going to be intense. Chiesa Pettis, that's going to be fun, man. I can't wait to see those two finally get it in. There's like a lot of fights, a lot of people have been waiting to see fight for a while in this year, and we're finally going to see them this year.
We saw Michael Chiesa at Bellator.
Yeah, he was around there. Yeah, he was cornering Sam Cecilia. Yeah, so from top to bottom, I think it's the best card of the year, and you guys definitely got to order it on pay-per-view. If you're in Vegas, go live. But listen, more to come on the Fight Board. We got Stephen Ocho Peterson. He's joining us at 12:40 p.m. And after that, we've got Casey Halstead. At 1:20 p.m., we are going to give our predictions for the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale. And we're going to look at Bellator as well, Bellator 201. That's going to be a really exciting card. So more to come on the Fight Board, the most action-packed 2 hours on Chicagoland Sports Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 12:30 p.m., Sean Lamb, your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com sports update brought to you by Illinois Media School. For more information on careers and broadcasting, make sure to go to BeyondAir.com. The Chicago Cubs lost to LA Dodgers 2-1 yesterday. They play again 9:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox play the Twins at 7:10 p.m. and they will play again tomorrow 7:10 p.m. Central. World Cup Group A, Saudi Arabia beat Egypt 2-1. Egypt is now out of the World Cup. Uruguay beat Russia 3-0. Iran and Portugal tied game 1-1. Group C, Spain, Morocco are tied. Peru beat Australia 2-0. France versus Denmark is in the full time 0-0 at the end of full time. Iceland, Croatia starts at 1 p.m. Nigeria versus Argentina start at 1 p.m. Group F tomorrow morning, Mexico versus Sweden at 9 a.m. Germany versus South Korea, 9 a.m. Group E, Serbia versus Brazil starts tomorrow at 1 p.m. And Switzerland versus Costa Rica starts tomorrow at 1 p.m. This update has been brought to you by Illinois Media School. For more information on careers as far as broadcasting, make sure to go to beonair.com. I'm your host, Sean Leonard. All right, Sean Lang, you're listening to the most action-packed 2-hour Chicagoland Sports Radio.com, The Fight For. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We can one of the top shows on the station, of course, and we're going to keep things rolling. Of course, coming up at 12:04 p.m., we're talking to Steven Peterson, Ocho. He'll be on the show to talk about his fight against Matt Bissett at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale, July 6th in Vegas. And then at 1 p.m., we're going to be talking to heavyweight pro Kalen Hall in studio to talk about his upcoming fight against Jordan Sufster at Pure Fighting Championship, July 29th in Milwaukee. Kalen is 4-0 and won his LFA debut as well. And then at 1:40 p.m., we're going to talk to the 10th Planet gym owner-operator of multiple locations, including Las Vegas, Casey Halstead, and he'll discuss the fighters he trains with, including UFC middleweight Julian Marquez, who fights Alessia DeChirico, Ultimate Fighter 27 finale July 6th in Vegas, man. So yeah, a lot on the show today. We got another action-packed 2 hours. And of course, Rick, you're joining me live here. So man, big news, of course, Bellator. Did you hear the newest news of Bellator, man? They've got a new distribution deal, global distribution. Oh, wow. DAZN. I just got the email this morning. And they're going to look to also, it'll be a great opportunity for them to launch themselves in other markets. It'll launch in the U.S. and Italy in 2018. And so we won't have the issues of like Bellator 200 being broadcasted after it happened. Hopefully we will have, it'll be the fact that we'll be able to see everything live, including like fights that are overseas. I think that's the whole idea about this. And I feel like this is a great opportunity for Bellator. They're really moving into the market. And we can't even see who they're going to sign next. They just signed Lyoto Machida. They announced Rampage and Vanderlei Silva 3 for September 29th. Of course, that's going to happen too. How excited are you for that, Rick?
Oh, man. It's crazy. Man.
Yeah, no, those fights don't last long, first of all. The first 2 fights, they were knockouts. The third fight, big knockout. Rampage came back. You know what I mean? They don't last that long as well. So, I want to give also a shout out to Dedrin. He's been helping us with the social media and also with our new Fightlete Report logo. So shout out to him, man.
I just love that.
Me too, man. And, big shout out to him getting us out there and doing his thing, plugging us as well. And also, big shout out to a lot of different people who are coming in and helping us out. Professional Fighters League was here, so shout out to them and having us backstage.
Well,
yeah, they did. So, yeah, I just want to give a shout out to those guys over there, Savage, Greg Savage, and the rest of them. They're really doing a good job with the Professional Fighters League. And regardless of what happened with the commission and all the, the crazy upsets, it was a good event. And it's a seasonal event. You can tell that there's a lot of urge, and there's a lot of what I was gonna say.
A lot of hype.
No, not just hype, man, but urgency. And when those fights happen, they know that they have to finish them. They have to accumulate the points. It's not like, a win's a win, you move on. No, you have to get points to move on.
They're definitely in the cage of hungry animals, man.
Right, and that's the thing, man. They have to make sure that they are there and they are alive, and of course, they have to make sure that they're ready to go. So it's a live event, but at the same time, they have to make sure that they're getting the most points. And if they see the opportunity to finish, you have to risk it all to finish the fight, to get the extra points that they're needed to move on the season. And so, yeah, it's great, man. I mean, I don't have the points where the points are at right now after the second event, but I think that's going to be
Washington D.C., man, they're gonna blow fireworks over there in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I like the fact they're constantly putting on events. I like the fact that Professional Fighters League is definitely going to be, one of the premier shows, and getting to do media with them was excellent as well.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of Kayla Harrison, man? She came out there and she performed, and that wasn't even for, that wasn't part of the season. Rather, she wasn't getting points for that. It was a exhibition bout, not exhibition, but it was a women's highlight feature bout with her and Brittany Elkin, man, and she came out there and did the armbar.
Yeah, man, I was just like seeing that. I was just like, wow. Like my jaw was just like.
And that was her MMA debut as well. And if you think about it, man, so many people might say, "Oh, I think she's the successor to Ronda Rousey," but I don't think she wants to be the next Ronda Rousey. She wants to be herself, the first Kayla Harrison. And looking at the points scheduled, leading the points is Robert Watley with 5 points currently now, and Brian Foster behind him with 4 points, and Will Brooks, Natan Schultz, and Izam Mamedov 3 points each. So that's the current standings for the PFL. More to come on the Fight Report, so stay tuned on ChicagoLandSports.com. We'll be back after this.
Sadly, hockey and basketball seasons are over right now. But we do have baseball season. We have the Cubs and the White Sox, and I will definitely talk about what they are doing in their young season so far, as well as any upcoming moves that the Bears might have this coming season in the NFL, which is right around the corner. Tune in every Monday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Wait, hold up. That's not right. The Rising Feminist Wrestling Show is here covering WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Money in the Bank, and NXT TakeOver. It is all about the honesty when it comes to promos, wrestling, and of course, Brock Lesnar. The wrestlers. The Rising Feminist Wrestling Show is more than just highlights. It is all about the fresh opinions when it comes to everything in wrestling. So come join me, Stephanie, aka The Feminist Voice of Wrestling, every Thursday from 2 to 4 on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It is not just sports, it's a way of life.
So you want to be in broadcasting, but you don't know where to start? Illinois Media School is a great beginning. If you want to work in front of the camera or mic or behind the scenes, IMS will help you prepare for a career in broadcasting in just 8 months. And financial aid is available for those who qualify. So what are you waiting for? Call the Illinois Media School at 312-884-8000, 312-884-8000, or visit the website at beonair.com.
Nothing moves the blog.
At the end of the day, where do you expect the Cubs to be is the best question.
I expect to be in the World Series. I said this before the 40th start. You weren't here yet, but when I made my prediction for the Cubs, I expect them to be in the World Series and lose to the Yankees and 6.
Give me a break. WORK. They got you if you believed into it. If you bought into it this long, they got you.
The Bob Show is Cedric Farrell and Elijah Richardson, Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. only on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com.
I'm not only on that bandwagon, I'm driving that bandwagon, and we're not stopping until we get to Cooperstown.
Hey, Steve, did you catch the score of the Cubs game last night?
No, actually, I didn't.
You need to tune in to Covering the Bases on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com.
Isn't that the hot new baseball show with Matt Brown and Steven Garcia?
Yes, they cover the Cubs and Sox, scores, updates, and up-to-the-minute news around Major League Baseball and more.
Covering the Bases this Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. only on ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com and Facebook Live.
Hey, sports fans, Paulie C here, and this is a recap of what you missed last week on the Fans Corner. It's been literally the king of Eastern Conference for almost a decade, and
the only reason to watch the Eastern Conference.
Basically, and now if he goes over, we're assuming he's going to go over to the Western Conference, right, for the first time in his career.
And then at that point, do you realize what that does to the NBA? You put him in the West, you might as well just take the Eastern Conference and fold it.
So please join us on Friday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I've been in the radio and broadcasting business a long time, more than 3 decades, and I thought, if I spread my knowledge and shared what I know about the business with a lot of young minds, maybe I could get some of those people involved. And my dad talked to schools, and I thought I could do that too, and I could do it all in one place at Illinois Media School. I've been having a great time. I tell everybody I'm learning as much from the students as they learn from me. I am Eddie Volkman, and I am IMS.
Chick said Bizarre couldn't rap. I freaking hate you. I love you. I want to.
All right, Sean Lang back here on the most action-packed 2 hours. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fight Report. And right now we're talking UFC heavyweight, featherweight, Steven Ocho Peterson on the show to talk about his fight against Matt Bessette at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale, July 6th in Vegas. And former Legacy Fighting Championship bantamweight champion is looking for his first win in the Octagon after a rough debut last February in his home state. Steven, thank you for taking time to be on the show today. How's everything going with you?
Everything's going great. Thanks for having me on, Sean.
Oh, no problem. It's my pleasure. You're welcome on anytime. How's everything going, training-wise and everything?
Man, I'm on point. A week out, ready to get the job done.
Great, man. Glad to hear it. Glad that you're in good spirits. You recently fought a tough guy in Brandon Davis near your hometown. Did you go in the fight with any nagging injuries? You got hurt early on, but how'd you feel about the performance that you were able to gut out?
Yeah, that was a typical Ocho performance. If the fight's not going my way, I'm going to make it scrappy. It's going to be a barn burner. So, yeah, you can expect that anytime I'm in the cage. But I'd like to go out there and, finish my opponents rather than put on the fight of the night.
Sure. And you're fighting in Vegas again. How excited are you for the opportunity to be part of the International Fight Weekend?
Man, that's awesome. International Fight Week is, what mixed martial arts is all about. All the fans from all around the world will be in Vegas. So there'll be a lot of new eyes on me. So I'm just excited to showcase my talents and make some new fans out there.
Definitely. And this event is almost sold out, last I checked as well.
Oh, yeah.
Making the most of this opportunity is important for you. How do you envision this fight?
I envision a first-round KO. Matt Bessette's tough. He's gonna come out there headstrong and try to take me out. But I've been working too hard for this moment, and this is what I was made for. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah, Matt Bessette is a tough guy. He's coming over a loss in his official debut, and a no contest to Kurt Hallbaugh after his opponent was tested positive for doping. Like, how badly do you feel like you both need this win?
Yeah, he's kind of got his back up against the wall after those 2 losses. I just found out about the contender fight getting changed to a no contest. So, good for him. But, I see this fight ending up a lot like that one did, aside from the doping.
Sure. And your teammate, Rashad Coulter, man, he was an absolute war at the UFC 225 earlier this month. What did you think of that performance from him?
That's what Rashad's all about. He likes to go out there and throw hands. So, he went out there and did his thing. Unfortunately, got the loss. He got a loss. His opponent took him down, and I don't know, the big guys on top of you, it's got to be hard to get off. I can't imagine how he felt.
Yeah, man, it was exciting leading up to that finish.
Oh, no doubt. He broke his hand. He tore his hamstring. He goes out there and puts everything on the line.
Yeah, man, can't wait to see him back in the octagon again in the future after a long recovery. But what do you use for recovery? I know you've had a long training camp, and what do you like to go for?
I've been doing physical therapy up at Exos since my last fight. Had a small injury, so I've been working on rehabbing that and getting back to 100%. And also just chiropractic, cryotherapy is a new big one. Since my last fight, I actually bought a cryotherapy chamber and opened up my own business doing cryotherapy. So yeah, that's a big part of my recovery.
Guys, working out for you. I saw you had Andrea KGB Lee in studio not too long ago. She's a great fighter. I'm a big fan. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, it was great to have her on my show. Talk a little bit about my show. I have a kind of a podcast that we do every Friday at 12 p.m. Central on kvgiradio.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she came under fire because of her husband's tattoo. Did that come up? And what are your thoughts about the fighters, how they're scrutinized in the public eye so harshly?
Oh man, the fans kind of just crucified her for that, but that's not her fault. I mean, that's his thing, and I don't know his history, but so I can't defend him nor put him down. But I'm just gonna keep my thoughts to myself on that. I mean, he hasn't done any wrong in my eyes, so we'll. I guess to each their own. Some people want to pass judgment on that type of thing. I don't know what he's been through. I don't know his story, so I'm just gonna keep my thoughts to myself.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Yeah, it's very controversial, but I hope doesn't affect her career. I don't think it will. Just given some time, I'm sure Andrea will be back and have the fans rooting for her.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, she's definitely like the American personified, kind of like in her character and in her fighting style too. You know.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan.
Yeah, Holloway versus Ortega now is the featherweight title that's going to be the following night at UFC 226 after your fight. In the co-headliner, like who do you have in this one?
Man, Ortega's tough, but I'm a Holloway fan. He's the champ. I think he's going to remain. He's scrappy, man. I like to watch him fight. Ortega kind of came out of nowhere in the last couple of years, so I guess we'll see what he's capable of.
Definitely, man. You envisioned the same thing for yourself, like people that are too familiar with you outside of like the Legacy Fighting Alliance, but you're just going to come out of nowhere and grab a lot of fans starting July 6th.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. I've been working for this a long time. I've been fighting for 10 years. Now that I'm in the UFC, I'm here to stay. I'm going to be around for a long time, and I'm going to make a name for myself.
Mm-hmm. And would you like to see Max Holloway and Ortega, like, which one would you rather fight if you had the opportunity?
I'd like to fight Max. I've been watching him since before he fought McGregor. So since he started coming up, I've been watching him for a long time. So I'm excited to see him at the top of the game, and I'm ready to be there myself.
And what can we expect from your fight with Matt Bissett on July 6th?
Man, you can expect a scrap. We're both gonna come down to the center of the octagon and just throw down. I don't see myself moving backwards, and I hope he doesn't run. I hope he stands there and bangs, and gives the fans what they want to see.
Definitely, man. And then do you feel like you have to stay away from like distractions when you're like in Las Vegas or like a city like has a lot of distractions and stuff? How do you keep like mentally focused and not get too distracted? You walk out on the street. I'm always just curious about that.
There's distractions wherever you go, man. If you're open to them, but I'm disciplined. I'm focused. The fight's what I got my mind on. So all that other stuff can wait until after the fight.
For sure, man. And then maybe you might stop by the fan experience or see what's going on with the pre-fight festivities, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Steven, I want to thank you again for taking time to be on the Fight Report today. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my coach, Saif Saoud, out of Fortis MMA, all my training partners that helped me get ready for this fight, my sponsors, Knuckle Up Tattoo, Hutchins Barbecue, Urban 8 Food Courts, and Kodiak Contracting. And then all my fans, if you give me a like on Instagram at @Ocho08 and Facebook.com/Ocho Nation.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you for having me on, Sean.
Oh, no problem. Anytime, and I hope to see you out there. I'll be out there for the National Fight Weekend as well.
Awesome. Plan on seeing you out there, bro.
All right, you too. Take care and best of luck. Bye.
All right, you too. Bye.
But that was Steven Ocho Peterson on the Fight Report, and he's ready for this war. It's gonna be a war. Him and that Bissett, man. Yeah, I think this. Hey, looking at Ultimate Fighter 27, that's gonna be a great card. We still have to determine, who gets the fight for the contract. But they have a nice, solid lineup, man. I like the fact that there's a lot of fighters there that we don't know about too much, but there's a lot of great talent, and I think the talent will rise to the top, especially in this event. I feel like anytime we go to the UFC, the big weekend, man, there's so many fights. It's crazy. Like I've never gone to back-to-back events. Like I would, but financially it costs a lot. But last year there was a war between Gaethje and Michael Johnson that had me on my feet, and I was like, and I wished I went. The tickets weren't even that much. Really? This year tickets are a bit more high or quite steeper, but yeah, they were doing the T-Mobile Arena, and I guess they were having trouble selling tickets, and they weren't that much. It was like 50 something. We're like, wow, but you have to add in the in-house expenses. They even charge. You can't just go in the box office and say, oh, I'll get a ticket and you get the flat rate. No, you still have to pay the fees on top of at the box office. So maybe a little more than 50, like 60 something. But that wasn't bad. It was all lower level too. So
lower level for $60, man, that is a good deal.
Yeah, 60 or 65. I'm not sure like the total. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all, but it was the Ultimate Fighter. So but this card's generated a lot of interest. You got we could go over it real quick, man. I see Luis Pena is going to be here against Richie Smullen. First of all, Luis Pena, man, this was my pick to win Ultimate Fighter Season 27, man. And I've been a little behind. I'm sorry, I haven't been watching, keeping up with it. I am going to be keeping up with it. I am going to be watching by next week, so that way I can give my official predictions.
Yeah.
But I like Luis Pena, man. This guy's tall, he's lanky, and when you're at 155 pounds, you got that physique, you're going to give people a lot of trouble. We've seen that before. He's got reaches, and I think he's going to have a fun fight with Richie Smullen. And Luis Pena is from close to here. He lives in Indiana originally, so yeah, tough guy.
Oh, definitely.
Unfortunately, he had to exit from the Ultimate Fighter with an injury. He won his first fight and demolished the guy in 2 rounds rather. And yeah, then we're going to see Gerald Meerschaert III versus Oscar Petroda. And I just talked to GM3. He told me that I was trying to interview him. He said he's waiting on his opponent. So his opponents got made. He's taking on a tough guy who's 11-0 from Poland rather, and Oscar Petroda. And I think it's going to be a fun fight.
Oh yeah, man.
I think this is going to be, Gerald Meerschaert III is welcoming all comers. And the fact that he's in the UFC, he only has 1 loss in the UFC. He's 3-1 in the UFC. And all his wins are by finishes, either the first and the last fight in the second round. So I'm excited for that. 2 first-round finishes by submission. This guy's a monster. No one's talking about him. He trains over at Rubens Sport Milwaukee.
Really?
And yeah, I think he's going to garner a lot of attention. I think he's going to come out with a big win over Oscar Petroda. I just think he has the experience. He's 27-9.
Wait, 27-9?
9, yes. He's 30 years old.
Holy man.
Yeah, he's a very experienced fighter, and he trains with Ruthless Sport. Like I say, he's just waiting for his opportunity for a while. He's finally gotten it, and I think that's going to be a great fight. And he will beat Eric Spicey with a knockout, a kick to the body that just sent him really.
I don't even know a person who does 26 wins, except Khabib. But no.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of fighters out there. You just got to research them, man. Yeah, there's a lot of fighters with records out there. Usually, sometimes you don't even see them in the UFC. So I think he's going to come out with a big performance with that one. Alex Caceres, Shonuff, and Martin Bravo. That should be fun, man. Well, not Shon. Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres. Remember, you ever seen that movie, dude? That movie, The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
Classic, right? Yeah,
definitely.
So he's got that nickname from, man. He needs a win, man. He lost to Gan Wang back in November. I think that recently he's gonna come out there and he's gonna put on a good performance. Martin Bravo is 11-1, and his 1-1 in the UFC so far. So that's gonna be an exciting fight. I feel like these two are gonna come out and they're gonna bang for sure. Yeah, knowing how Alex Caceres is, very diverse. Remember his fight against what's his name? Yair Rodriguez. Yeah. Man, that was such a crazy fight, man. It was spinning this, all these wild kicks and
attempts, but the attempts were crazy, man.
Yes, yeah. So I think it's gonna be another wild one. We just talked to Steven Peterson taking on Matt Bessette. That's gonna be a fun fight as well. Bessette's 22-8 and 1 loss by decision, 1 no contest, and of course Peterson unfortunately made his debut with a tough loss to Brandon Davis. So I think that's going to be a fun fight as well. I'm excited for this one. I really am.
Man, you're going to Christmas land. Like, that's your Christmas.
Well, yeah, I'll probably be watching these while I'm at on TV somewhere. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun fight. Montana De La Rosa, Rachel Ostovich, their former alums, Ultimate Fighter Season 27. I mean, what do you have to say about the fighters from what you've gathered? Do you have anything to say, Rick?
Man, I just think they'll blow a huge card on that night.
Yeah,
Man.
Montana De La Rosa is now 8-4, man. And her last fight, when I saw her, she defeated Christina Marks by armbar. She loves the armbar. When I saw her, I felt like she was like Misha Tate's girl. She's a pretty girl. She trains with Misha Tate, and she's like one of Misha Tate's group. But I think she's come out and she's gotten that's 2 submission victories in a row. She was on the Ultimate Fighter season 26. And Rachel Ostovich is tough. She's going to represent Hawaii. I think this weekend again we're going to see 4 Hawaiians represented and 4 fighters at International Fight Weekend. We got Rachel Ostovich on the Ultimate Fighter Season 27. The main event is Brad Tavares, who's Hawaiian. Then we go to UFC 226. We got Yancy Medeiros on the undercard and Max Holloway in the co-main event. So the Hawaiians are going to be out in full force.
I know, like, it's a week different,
yes.
But Bellator, man.
Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about that later. Yeah. Illy Mae McFarland, the women's flyweight champion. But yeah, this is going to be a good fight. I think that these two are going to definitely put on a good performance. I see it going like maybe 3 rounds. But you got to watch out for Montana De La Rosa. But they're both good on the ground. I mean, Rachel Ostovich, her last fight, she got the arm bar and worked really well. Barb Hodchank, Roxanne Modafferi. Now, this is, Rick, sit down and watch this fight. This is a fight between 2 veteran female fighters.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be an amazing fight, man. You're familiar with Roxanne, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's an amazing fighter.
Yeah, she was with Ronda Rousey and Misha Tate's team.
Yeah, yes. And she's been fighting way before then. She's a former Invicta FC Women's Champion as well. I think she's going to come in there. She's going to have a great performance. And I feel like she's gonna come out with a W, man. Oh, but Bob Hartchank is the former women's bantamweight division for Invicta as well. So they both are like the former champions. And I think Roxanne had the interim. I think she had the interim featherweight or bantamweight champion. It was one or the other, bantamweight or flyweight champion. But yeah, this is going to be a great fight. I feel like both of these women are very experienced. Barb took some time off. I think that was the only knock on her. She took a lot of time off from 2014 to 2017. She lost to Lauren Murphy in her UFC fight, but she beat Jillian Robertson in the on the show. Didn't go all the way, and since then, now 10-3. I think she's going to come out with a big performance of herself. She's got a chip on her shoulder. She wants to get that first victory in the UFC. And likely Roxanne Modafferi, same reason. She never had a victory in the UFC. She fought Raquel Payson on the Ultimate Fighter finale, then went to Invicta. Then on the finales, last year's finale, she lost to Nico Montano for the women's flyweight title. So that's going to be a tough one as well. Well, more to come on the Fight Report, guys, so stay tuned. We are listening to the most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. And, yeah, man, we're going to be talking about the co-main event and main event next. So stay tuned and listen to the most action-packed 2 hours, Chicagoland.
For TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
John Lennon with the Fightlete Report. Rick, Amanda Nunes is the most dominant women's fighter today. Her heart is unmatched. Skills in striking are unparalleled. Game this close to breaking Raquel Pennington. The Lioness is hungry She's gonna fight Cyborg. I've got Amanda Nunes.
I'm going with Chris Cyborg on this. I give credit to Amanda Nunes with her courage because this fight is going to be bloody.
Listen live Tuesday at 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
All right, at 1 p.m., Sean Lemon, your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com sports update brought to you by Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, make sure to go to beonair.com. Chicago Cubs with a loss to LA Dodgers 2-1. They play again at 9:10 p.m. And the Chicago White Sox will play the Twins at 7:10 p.m. tonight. World Cup action, Group A. Saudi Arabia beat Egypt 2-1. Egypt is out of the World Cup. Uruguay beat Russia 3-0. Iran and Portugal are tied 1-1. Spain and Morocco are tied. Peru beat Australia 2-0. And France versus Denmark ended full-time 0-0. Iceland versus Croatia started at 1 p.m. and Nigeria versus Argentina at 1 p.m. In Group F tomorrow morning, Mexico versus Sweden. Time is 9 a.m. Germany versus South Korea, 9 a.m. And in Group E, we've got Serbia versus Brazil, start tomorrow at 1 p.m. Switzerland versus Costa Rica starts at 1 p.m. This update is brought to you by ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and the Chicago Dogs baseball. The next home game broadcast will be June 21st when they take on the Texas Air Dogs at 7:05 p.m. For tickets, visit thechicagodogs.com. I'm Sean Lang. You're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. Not just sports, it's a way of life.
Suckers! Know why my hands are so numb? No, my grandmother, but I didn't. Who's this lady talking crap? So what if she's handicapped? One chick said, Bazaar couldn't rap. I freaking hate you. I love you. I want to date you.
All right, Sean Lang, you're listening to the most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the fight. But we are just looking over Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale, and we'll go over more of that later on as well. But right now, I'm going to introduce my guest in studio. We got Wisconsin heavyweight pro hailing the albino Rhino Hall. Good, man. Good. How about you? All right, man. Well, just to tell about everybody what's going on with you, you're fighting Jordan Sefzer, Pure Fighting Championship, July 29th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Correct.
And you're 4-0, and you won your LFA fight.
Yes.
The LFA 41, yes.
On the first.
Yes. You do train at Perfect Moves MMA. Tell us how you doing, man. Welcome to Chicago. I know you're up from Milwaukee.
Yeah, thank you for having me. First of all, I appreciate the opportunity for this little lowly Midwest heavyweight, an opportunity to get my name out there.
Oh, no problem,
talk
man.
about myself and promote myself a little bit. So thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I train at Perfect Moves in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
A small little tight-knit gym. One of my main training partners, if you don't know, is the Bowman Alton Cunningham, who's going to be on Contender Series coming up as well.
Okay.
So we beat each other up all the time and just make each other better. It's a lot of fun at this gym.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I actually went to your event, Pure Fighting Championship 7. You were on there.
Yes. Yeah,
I saw that fight.
Pro debut.
Okay, yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been going really well for me since I started. So.
Yeah, man. I can't believe it. So that was actually your pro debut too.
Yes.
Yeah. Talk about your last fight, LFA 41. Ryan DeBulac, arm triangle choke. How'd you feel about that?
Oh, I felt really good. So the fight before that against Patrick Martin, I came out really hard, trying to get that finish in the first, and I gassed real hard. So for this next fight, I really tried to focus on a little more cardio and pacing myself and preparing for 3 rounds and not just going all out for that first round. So I was definitely a lot more methodical, a lot more in control for that fight, and I was just picking my shots. I wasn't forcing my shots.
Right.
So I never really was tired. I was just felt in control and methodical, and took advantage of the opportunities I was there. Almost had, some people call it key lock, a V lock. I almost had that a couple times. So I had to work on that technique to expand my jits offense. But eventually just wore them out and got that arm triangle.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Great performance. You're working hard, improving every time.
Yes. Yeah. That's the biggest key. Just getting cage time and developing and working my way to the top.
And that was the first time a lot of people got exposed to you on television. You're part of the main card. You had fought for LFA prior on the prelim.
Yes, I fought for RFA, LFA organization 4 times now, twice as amateur and now twice as pro.
Oh, okay. Did you get the one in You go to one in Indiana?
No,
I mean, oh, not the one.
No,
okay,
all of them
okay.
have been at Mystic Lake.
Oh, okay, great. And then talk about your upcoming opponent, Jordan. Like, where do you see yourself being better?
Well, I know Jordan's probably going to be the best wrestler I faced. Any of the video I was watching, he's actually fought Alton before. He's very aggressive and comes at you and tries to control you, which, it plays well in my game. I love wrestling. Obviously, I have a huge wrestling background. What I want to do is showcase the striking I've been working on and develop those striking technique and striking instincts inside the cage and not just have them inside the practice area. So that's not exactly too sure how exactly he's going to come at me, but I expect him to come at me hard.
Definitely, man. And it's a game opponent for you.
Yes.
This is who you want to face.
Right? Oh yeah, I'd love to. And word is he called me out specifically, so I'm all for that.
Okay. Now, moving forward, like, what are you looking to get out of the sport for yourself?
My ultimate goal right now, since I started and I learned I'm pretty good at this and I can develop and be real and make some money, is to establish a future for my children. I got 2 little girls, 9 and 11 right now. And if I could somehow make enough and put enough away, well, they'll never have to worry about college. It's going to be worth every blood, sweat, and tear I put into this.
Excellent.
And now after that, it's to me, it's house money.
That's a very honorable thing to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you want to make sure that you have your good future for your children. And what do you think? Like, fighters nowadays, they're complaining they're not getting paid enough. They're not getting the opportunity they need to be. Does that kind of discourage you? Like when you hear that?
Slightly, but I know it's kind of tough because I want to get paid. I want to get out there and
sure.
And then that counterbalance of maximizing how much I get paid and make sure that happens. But first step is getting to that point where I can worry about how much I get paid.
Right.
So then I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But right now, let's just get me out there, get me known,
sure.
start signing some real contracts.
Look in the future, college is not cheap anymore.
Yeah, and so I just gotta. I'm ready. I'm ready to start really taking on some huge opponents and huge paydays and get myself out there and exposed.
Definitely. Who specifically you credit with helping you train for this fight?
Also, a lot of credit goes to my trainer, Master Lawrence Pearson. He owns the gym. He's the one I've been working with so closely. To be honest, I don't know if I would have ever gotten into the sport had it been any other coach to work with. He and I just clicked initially on how to train and where priorities lie, and it worked from the beginning on where I am with my life and my family and how all that goes. So working with him and him developing my striking techniques and his knowledge and also his connections, because through him I also got to go to Holland and train at the beginning of April over with Mike Van Inderzon and his gym, there, and Daryl Stickman was a great kickboxer. And then while I was there, I also got to go to Bert Kopp's gym and work with Gegard Mousasi and his team a little bit. So the exposure and learning how to train with those top level guys was a huge. My main training partners, like I said, Alton Cunningham and John Tombstone Jones, is making his name as well, coming up through the ranks, have been crucial in my development. And John, being a huge wrestling background as well, he pushes me there, and Alton with his fast hands and quick striking pushes me there. And I just I get the full spectrum of work with these guys and everybody else in my gym. All the little guys like Javier Moreno, he's got some fast hands, so we all work a lot of defense against his hands and everything like that. It's a close knit family, all work together.
Definitely, and a lot of great MMA in Milwaukee too.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee area.
2 major gyms.
Yes.
Like, you guys beat us in Chicago. We don't even have like a major gym in the city. Yeah, crazy.
With, obviously with Group Sport there.
Yeah,
I think like Chicago goes to Milwaukee to train there, man. Because I don't think we got anything over here.
But yeah, like I said, with Group Sport being there, it's a huge deal.
Yeah,
and exposure there, and Pure Vita's up and coming. They got a lot of good guys there, developing and moving their way up.
So how's like how are you feeling mentally, like right now going through this fight coming up?
Oh, I feel great.
You feel great?
I my training doesn't really change too much. I try to, at this level, always be ready because I don't know when that opportunity is going to come. So I'm just ready to go. I'm clear-headed. I'm just focused on developing my techniques and taking advantage of any opportunity, like I said, that comes my way.
Excellent, man. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you perform. And
yes,
what are you using for recovery now? Like after your training?
I to maintain weight, there's always a simple protein with creatine shakes that I take a post workout with some BCAAs in it. I'm very hesitant on supplements and everything like that because
Right.
you just hear horror stories of people testing positive for something or anything like that. And I've gotten to my size and my strength pretty much 100% naturally with minimal proteins or anything like that. So I just generally don't. I mean, I stick with peanut butter sandwiches to recover and like I said, just a simple protein shake.
Oh, definitely.
I keep it very simple with extra stuff I put in to recover. Just
Right.
those horror stories and everything. Something pops positive. Well, you're never gonna pop positive if you're not putting that stuff in your body
Right.
to begin with. So
Right. So you stay away from like all these tainted,
oh yeah,
possibly tainted supplements.
I realize at this level I don't have to worry about testing positive for anything too much because you saw there anybody's not after me. But
Right.
at the next level when I get there.
You just want to do it naturally and easy.
Yes, 100%, because that's how I got to this point. So
The heavyweight division can lead to some slow, oftentimes sloppy fights. Like, how do you feel about hearing that when people say
well,
that?
it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching which UFC was it with Romero and Whitaker fighting, and I watched the undercard in that first heavyweight fight. They were swinging for 2 minutes, and then they just laid on each other.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
like, this doesn't help the heavyweight case at all when you watch that stuff, and it's the give and take because you know they're swinging hard, and you know you see some action, but it's a short period of action, and it's just frustrating when you watch that as an up and coming heavyweight going, that's what it takes to be at this top level. I feel like I'm there now.
Right.
Like
But,
everybody wants to see like Brock Lesnar or Randy Couture fights like that. And those
Yeah. Yeah, and then like I said, once you get to that top level, you're
Mhm.
gonna see some real exciting fights.
Definitely.
Like Miocic just keeps coming at you. He just
Yeah.
keeps coming at you because you got excellent cardio and good striking, and those top level guys you can see. Overeem's always a terror, and because he's got that great kickboxing. Those
Yeah.
top level guys are going to give you entertaining fights, regardless of any weight class.
Right.
It's just the bottom end of the spectrum is thin.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and it's just because it's hard to get someone to develop their body to that point
Mhm.
and be able to maintain something like that
Yeah.
at the heavyweight level.
Well, who do you have in the DC versus Stipe?
I always lean towards a wrestler in these cases, and I got to lean towards DC.
Oh,
and this,
really?
I think it's gonna be a grind
Mhm.
between the two because you got great striking versus good striking. On the other end, you got good wrestling versus great wrestling, and I think great wrestling usually wins out. Just again, I'm biased. Been wrestling since I was in 7th grade, dabbled in youth, so I'm always going to root for the wrestler, which is a problem because I do like Stipe and how he fights.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on Stipe.
No, you
He's
can never
wrestling.
sleep on Stipe. I mean, he went through the meat grinder to get up
Yeah.
there, so he can definitely handle it. And I would not be surprised if he wins.
Yeah.
I'm just leaning towards
Right.
DC.
Sure. And then where do you see yourself in like 3 years, man?
Oh, I better be a name in some organization. It doesn't really matter to me if it's UFC or Bellator or go overseas and fight one. Hell, I'd fight for Invicta if they pay me. It doesn't matter. But I definitely will be known. I will definitely be a name. I
Right.
will definitely be a force to be reckoned with in 3 years.
For sure, man. And that, so you're
Barring some sort of injury.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just talk about that. Like, how do you stay injury free, man? Like, what do you specifically do you have to make your body? Like, what do you have to treat your body with to stay injury free?
Warming up properly is a huge deal. I got a roller. I got to roll up my hamstrings and my thighs. Take my time, stretch, make sure my blood's pumping, everything's loose. And when I train, it's not to beat my partner up. It's to learn and to develop. And we're not, like I said, trying to beat each other up, hurt each other. We all have careers we're fighting for, so there's no
Right.
reason to try and hurt each other. It's the level of training I have is purely about technique and development. You can do it at a high pace for cardio or just slow pace to learn, but it's all about your training partners really to prevent those injuries. You got 3 things that'll happen, but if you're rolling around with somebody and they know once they have a hold to let go, they don't have to wait for a tap and stuff like that. It's huge once you develop a relationship with these guys and they know who you are and where you want to be. So they don't want to hurt you as well, but they will still push you hard.
Yes.
So
For sure, man. Hey, we are here with Kelly, the albino Rhino Holland. We'll be back after this, so stay tuned. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. They're listening to the most action-packed 2 hours on Chicagoland Sports Radio, despite the report. the Fightlete Report.
Or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
John Lennon with the Fightlete Report. Rick, Amanda Nunes is the most dominant women's fighter today. Her heart is unmatched. Skills in striking are unparalleled. Game this close to breaking Raquel Pennington. The Lioness is hungry. She's going to fight Cyborg. I've got Amanda Nunes.
I'm going with Chris Cyborg on this. I give credit to Amanda Nunes with her courage because this fight is going to be bloody.
This is live Tuesday at 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
This week on Deck. Find out if the Caps will finish the Stanley Cup. Or will the Vegas Golden Knights extend the series?
Welcome to the main event of the evening.
Plus, we get into the NBA Finals. Will the Warriors be back-to-back champs? I'm making people happy. Also, we get into Cubs and Sox baseball. Make sure to tune in On Deck with me, Charles Pryor Ritchie, Sid the Kid, and Corey Barber every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
It's a great time to be a sports fan in Chicago. The Bears have wrapped up OTAs. We're less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft, and the Cubs and Sox are well into their seasons. On Second City Sports, we break down and analyze all the latest breaking news and notes from across the sports landscape. So join Jay Pfeiffer and Lakina McGee every Thursday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where it's not just sports, it's a way of life.
So you want to be in broadcasting, but you don't know where to start? Illinois Media School is a great beginning. If you want to work in front of the camera or mic or behind the scenes, IMS will help you prepare for a career in broadcasting in just 8 months. And financial aid is available for those who qualify. So what are you waiting for? Call the Illinois Media School at 312-884-8000, 312-884-8000, or visit the website at beonair.com.
Nothing moves the blob. At the end of the day, where do you expect the Cubs to be is the best question.
I expect to be in the World Series. I said this before the year started. You weren't here yet, but when I made my prediction for the Cubs, I expect to be in the World Series and lose to Yankees in 6.
Give me a break. WORK. They got you if you believed into it. If you bought into it this long, they got you.
The Bob Show is Cedric Farrell and Elijah Richardson, Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I'm not only on that bandwagon, I'm driving that bandwagon, and we're not stopping till we get to Cooperstown.
Hey, Steve, did you catch the score of the Cubs game last night?
No, actually, I didn't.
You need to tune in to Covering the Bases on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Isn't that the hot new baseball show with Matt Brown and Steven Garcia?
Yes, they cover the Cubs and Sox, scores, updates, and up-to-the-minute news around Major League Baseball and more.
Covering the Bases this Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and Facebook Live.
Hey, sports fans, Paulie C here, and this is a recap of what you missed last week on the Fans Corner. It's been literally the king of Eastern Conference for almost a decade, and
the
now
only reason to watch the Eastern Conference.
Basically. I'm on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
All right, Sean Lennon back here. Most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Me and Rick Sanchez are hosting today, of course. And I'm here with Kalen, the albino Rhino Halt. So tell us about that nickname. Like, how did you get it? Is that something someone put upon you, bestowed upon you, or is this something that you did on your you had the idea of doing yourself?
So the evolution of my nickname, like when I first decided to start fighting, I kind of jokingly wanted to go by like the pretty or the beautiful, just because I want to hear an announcer have to yell that more than anything. And then with my last name being Hull, a friend of mine just chimed in and said, I always thought you'd be the Incredible Hull. I was like, that works too perfectly. I'm gonna have to stick with that. So throughout my amateur career, 5 fights there, I was known as the Incredible Hull. I was working through that, was sticking with that. Then pro debut comes along, and Greg Lowe gets all the credit for this. As he's announcing me, he goes, the albino rhino, the two-ton truck, Kalen, the Incredible Hull, and I crack and smile when he says the albino rhino, and that's just been sticking with me ever since.
Oh,
I just love how it sounds. I just think it kind of is a little more marketable. I have a lot more fun with it, and it just fits perfectly. I think.
And you do the hand gesture too.
Yes,
right?
the horn. I go. So at my last fight, what I do is I point to the camera, find the camera, so they know that that's the camera I'm looking at. I flex it up, and then I do what I call is I pinkies up, and I give them the horn. So
Nice.
that's that process. You
Hey
see at the
man,
end of that fight.
you already have that covered.
Just
though.
a little gimmick to kind of go with.
That's cool
So
though.
just keep things fun and
That's
light.
really cool, man. Yeah, I like that nickname. By the
Yeah.
way. That's
I love it. A lot of people have.
definitely works. I mean, like Incredible Hulk, that's decent, but
Yeah.
this is better. You know,
That's
it's
what I
more
felt.
creative. You know, so yeah, you got some maybe shirts coming soon. Maybe we'll have some.
Oh, I definitely have some shirts available right now that I can always
nice.
send out and ship. We're going to start working with somebody to get an actual web page set up for like merchandise and fight information that I have coming up. But right now it's just through Facebook, Instagram.
Cool.
Albino Rhino MMA. You can find me at. I have shirts on that one. I got a PayPal if you ever feel like paying.
Awesome.
And I'll always ship it out. Shipping's free. So.
Damn, that's real cool, man. Hey, that's great that you're starting to cover that because you know
Yeah.
today's fight world, and you know you being a younger fighter, you have to talk. You have to talk. You
Yeah.
can notice. You just go in there and you're just a vanilla guy, you know, not any flavor, not wrestling, you know, just a wrestler or a striker, whatever it is. But you're not doing anything to
Right.
grab people's attention.
Yeah. That's the problem is I don't really want to be. I'm not huge. I've never been a huge smack talker. I've always
Right.
been let my performance do the talking. So I kind of was just like, well, I'm just gonna have fun with it.
Right.
I'm just gonna be a guy that's relaxed and having fun, making jokes, and
Sure.
I'll go if you want to go gimmick. That would be my gimmick, if you will. Yeah, my performance. As soon as that cage door closes, it's all business.
Right.
That's my switch flip.
Mhm.
I do not like you anymore. As soon as that cage door closes, once that cage door opens back up, we'll be friends again and we'll be joking. But for that,
Yeah,
that time, we're not friends.
That's necessary,
Yeah.
man. I think for many instances. Yeah, and that theater is a nice venue too, man. The Milwaukee Theater, man. Talk about like fighting there.
Yeah,
How much you
theater
like it?
venues are definitely very interesting than the full 360 behind.
Yeah.
I kind of, in a way, I like a good theater venue more
Uh-huh.
because you also get these screens usually off to the side or somewhere. We can sit back and watch the screen and see that stadium seating. You generally don't really have a bad view. You're either just far away and you watch the screen or
Right.
you're up close. And I feel like it focuses the attention on you a little bit more.
Mhm.
Even though I'm inside a cage, everybody's watching, but that theater, everything is just right there, and it's a little smaller of a venue. So there's an intensity there. I think you can feel a little bit more inside a theater venue at this point in my career. Hopefully, when I get to those big arenas, I'll feel more. Sorry, when I
Sure.
get to those big arenas.
Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, that's the case. Like I like the theater. The only thing is when you're sitting on the floor of the theater, and you're looking up,
Yeah.
you can't see the ground at all. You know,
Yeah,
that's
that's
only.
that's why I recommend if people are buying tickets to a theater, get some seats like a few rows back, or if you're
Yeah,
general admission, kind
I
of get there
agree.
get some few rows back. But it's hard to have a bad seat in a theater. But
That's true though.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice, man. It's pretty sure. I'm going to be out there. So
nice,
yeah, me and
nice.
Rick will come
Great.
out there. Yeah, we're cool with Zach, so we'll get out there.
Yeah, Zach's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever try to say, hey, would you like to come by my gym or nothing like that?
I mean, they've always said, hey, you're always welcome here if you want to train or anything like that. It's just with my schedule with my girls and everything like that. It's kind of
Yeah.
sometimes a little tough to get over there on a regular basis, but they're great guys at Pure Beat, and they've always been nice and respectful towards me.
Yeah,
So.
they're really good. Really good showing their name, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
They're also
Yeah.
a big gym, not just Rufus Sport.
Yeah.
You ever have any experience with Rufus Sport?
No,
or
not
like
yet.
that?
I haven't never got
No.
over there at all yet. So
No, not yet.
I'd love to. Love the
Oh.
opportunity to train there and
Yeah.
and work with those high level strikers.
I don't
and
think they have
athletes.
many heavyweights there.
There's not very many heavyweights anywhere. So.
I think there's a lot of lightweight.
Lighter, but
which is
sports
which is
specific.
fine.
Yeah.
I can work that speed and that motion, make sure my feet are moving because I can't just stand there and take strikes all the time. So
definitely, yeah, man. Well, it's going to be exciting to see you perform, of course. And is there anything that you like to say to the fans out there, the people out there listening? Anybody you'd like to thank?
Well, obviously, I got to thank my gym at Perfect Moves. I got to thank my trainer, Master Lawrence Pearson, Clarissa Pearson. My main training partners, Walton Cunningham and John Jones. Thank you so much for pushing me as much as you guys do. Everybody else at the gym, thank you. I know I'm forgetting names, so I apologize for that. I want to thank you guys. Thank you for having me so much. It's the first time I've ever gotten to do like a real interview like this, so I truly appreciate this and this experience and this exposure. It means a lot to me at this stage of my career, or just means a lot to me, period. And the biggest thank you, of course, always goes out to my parents and my family, whose insane amount of love and support has allowed me to pursue the things I want to pursue in fighting and in the coaching that I do and everything like that. It's just, it's amazing to have love and support that I do for this.
Yeah, that's solid, man.
Yeah.
That's great that you have that support, because
Yes.
it's very hard out there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
doing this and,
I wouldn't be able to do any of this if I didn't have them behind me.
right. And then anywhere you'd like to fight in the world, where would you like to fight?
I think I would love to fight in Australia because I've always wanted to visit Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
If they were to have any type of fight in Italy, just kind of that historical gladiator thing, I would love to be a part of something like that.
Bellator did that when they
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just something
Untapped
like
market.
that. But yeah. Otherwise, I'll fight anywhere they want to pay me.
that's the right answer
Yes.
right there, right? For sure, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure having you on, and we're looking forward to this fight. So,
Yes, so am
we'll
I.
be there at the Pure FC. Everybody, check it out. It's Pure FC 9, July 29th. It's at the Milwaukee Theater. Get your tickets now. And Zach Otto, of course, and the great people at the Pure Vita DJJ, they're making the show happen possible.
Absolutely. If you haven't got your tickets yet and you're going through Cage Sticks, definitely select me as the fighter you're supporting.
Okay, yeah. That as well. Yeah, give us a link to that. We'll put that up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
cage6.com/PRFC.
We'll put it up on the page too.
Absolutely. I'll keep them coming.
Yeah, sure. And we'll keep it going along with you, man, and please keep us updated on what's going on.
Oh, I definitely will. Thank you so much
no
for having
problem.
me, guys.
Anytime, man. And of course, the Albino Rhino, Kalen Hall. Make sure to check him out. Pure Fighting Championship 9, Milwaukee Theater. It's going to be at the Miller Theater, I believe it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Miller Theater over in Milwaukee. And get your tickets now, Pure Fighting Championship 9. Jordan Sweffer and, of course, Kalen, the Albino Rhino Hall. Going to be a heavyweight clash.
Yes, absolutely. Can't wait. It's going to be a great card all around. You really want to get your tickets to show up.
Definitely, man. Thanks again for being on the show. And more to come on the Fight Report, so stay tuned, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. And when we come back after this, we've got more, including Casey Halstead at 1:40 p.m. And we're going to talk about Bellator 202 and Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale, a little bit more. So stay tuned and listen to the most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fight Report. And we'll be back after this, so stay tuned on this ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Chicagoland Sports Radio, Sports Update.
At 1:29 p.m., Sean Lamb with ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Sports Update brought to you by Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, please make sure to go to BeyondAir.com. Also, make sure to check us out Tuesday, 12 p.m., ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fightlete Report. And this update has been brought to you by the Chicago Dogs Baseball. Next time we broadcast is June 21st when they take on the Texas Air Dogs. Make sure to be at 7:05 p.m. For tickets, visit the ChicagoDogs.com. You're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life. Of course, Mexico, we go to baseball. Chicago Cubs lost to Dodgers 2-1. Play again at 9:10. Chicago White Sox play the Twins today at 7:10. The World Cup Soccer Group A. Saudi Arabia to beat Egypt 2-1. Egypt's out of the World Cup. Uruguay beat Russia 3-0. Iran and Portugal tied 1-1. Spain and Morocco are tied. Peru beat Australia 2-0. France versus Denmark is at full time, tied at 0. Iceland versus Croatia starts at 1 p.m. Nigeria versus Argentina starts at 1 p.m. Tomorrow morning, Mexico versus Sweden, time 9 a.m. Germany versus South Korea, time 9 a.m. And Serbia versus Brazil starts tomorrow 1 p.m. Switzerland versus Costa Rica starts tomorrow 1 p.m. This update has been brought to you by Chicago Dogs Baseball. Next home game broadcast will be June 21st. When they take on the Texas Air Dogs, 7:05 p.m. Visit ChicagoDogs.com. I'm Sean Lang. You listen to Chicago Land Sports Radio. It's not just sports; it's a way of life.
You count, suckers! We have a problem. If you can count, we got rock stars standing right next to pop icons. We got rap stars standing right here next to R&B. Nobody is wasting nobody. But then look what we have here.
Yeah. Sean Lennon with the most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fightlete Report, and thanks to Kellen the albino Rhino Hall giving us his time. Of course, we appreciate him being in studio. Jordan Sefzer, of course, he's taking on at the upcoming Pure Fighting Championships 9. Make sure to check that out, guys. It's going to be an amazing night of fights in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And come support, of course, Kalen Hall. As he said, you can check out CageTix.com and you can choose him as your fighter when you buy tickets. So right now, I'm going to talk to you, of course, preview what's going on the show. And at 1:40 p.m., we are going to talk to Casey Allstead, of course. And he is 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu owner and operator of all over the West Coast and even in Illinois as well. He's in many gyms. And so, yeah, we're going to talk to him. He's going to talk about his upcoming fighter in Julia Marquez, who fights Alyssa DeChirico at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale, July 6th in Vegas. Discuss the fighters he trains, including a UFC middleweight fighter and other fighters as well. And, yeah, we can't wait. He's got an interesting story how he became in charge of 10th Planet BJJ. So look forward to talking to him at 1:40 p.m., of course. And, yeah, I can't wait to talk to him. And also, we're going to be giving predictions time for, we just looked over Ultimate Fighter Season 27. We're going to look over Bellator 202 as well, 201 as well. So, yeah, more to come on the show. Lots of stuff going down, guys, and we are trying to keep you up to speed on everything. We just talked about PFL 2 as well and more. So listen on the most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fightlete Report, and we'll be back after this with the most action-packed 2 hours on the show. And, yeah, we're going to keep it rolling. So, yeah, looking back at Bellator 202, that's going to be an amazing night of fights. Bellator has been in the headlines recently. We just learned about their new international expansion deal. And then we just learned about, of course, the sign of Lyoto Machida. So it's going to be an exciting time for Bellator. And Rick, tell us, man, what do you think about Bellator? Recently, all the big news coming out. Machida signed. We got Rampage, Wanderlei Silva. How do you feel about it, man?
Man, I'm just shocked, man. Good for them on that, man. I did not expect Lyoto to sign with them. Maybe they got a good deal for him to
yeah. Definitely, and that's a great talent for them to have. I'm very excited for it. But we look towards Bellator 201. Ilime Leigh McFarland, of course, she's Hawaiian. She is the Bellator Women's Flyweight Champion. She's taking on Alejandra Lara. Alejandra Lara comes to this fight 7-1. A big victory in her last fight against Lena Ovechkinova by submission rear naked choke. That was her first win in Bellator. This is, two women that are at that level, that's 1-7-1, 1-7-0. You can't ask for a better matchup than that, matchup. No. And I think they're going to go in there. And Ilime Leigh McFarland, she trains with some of the toughest girls. In fact, she does train with Pro Gonzalez. She does train in the past. She's trained with, of course, former UFC, Invicta FC bantamweight champion Tanya Evinger. You know, she is tough. And remember her, it's Emily Ducati last November. She won by submission, triangle armbar in the 5th round.
Oh, wow.
That was crazy. And that was a war between those two, and they fought for the title. She went through that. She's going to make sure she keeps this title. She is the first ever Bellator women's flyweight champion. So,
oh yeah,
I know she's excited for this one. She's a tough talent, and if I had to go with it, I would go with Leigh McFarland. But I haven't seen Laura fight enough to make the assumption because Laura is the Colombian. I've seen her against Lena Vechkanova. She is solid as they come, but you know I'd have to see more from her to give a full prediction, but for now, I'm going to stick with the champion.
Oh,
How about you?
Definitely, man. I cannot wait to see this. It's on my birthday, man. What's a great way to celebrate with watching Bellator?
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so make sure to check that out this Friday night. And then we got Syed Awad versus Ryan Couture. I like this fight because of the fact that two very experienced guys. Syed Awad, if you don't know him, 3 finishes. Well, 1 finish, but he's got 3 victories in a row. Hard to do at any big promotion, especially Bellator or the UFC. He's looked great doing it. And Ryan Couture comes in this 11-5. He's the son of Andy the Natural Couture. And he had a 2-fight losing streak going, but he came back with another big win. And this guy's been fighting in Bellator since 2014. So he's a solid dude. Wow. They're going to go out there and perform. And I really don't know who to give the advantage to. I just think it's going to be a fun fight. I think these two are going to come out there. I know Ryan Couture has a great BJJ background. That's what he's known for. He's known for getting submissions. I mean, he had 4 straight submissions by rear naked choke.
Jeez.
In 2014 to lead into early 2015. 4 and 3 of them were in the first round. 1 was in the second round. And this was after the UFC. But when it comes to like the UFC, he had 2 losses in a row. You know what I mean? He was great in Strikeforce. Strikeforce, he had 1 fight, 3 decisions. He was great. We just want to see Ryan Couture get back to the top tier lightweight that he is. And I think this is the perfect fight to do it with against a tough veteran like Syed Awad. It's not going to be easy, but I think Ryan Couture's they both got their hands full of each other.
Oh, definitely, man.
I'm not going to go with a winner, but I'm leaning towards Ryan Couture. But
yeah, man.
Then we got Robbie Peralta, Juan Archuleta. That's going to be a fun fight in that. I think that's the bantamweight featherweight division. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Then we get to the next women's fight, Valerie Letourneau. She's no stranger to her. She is the former UFC women's strawweight #1 contender when she took on Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah, man.
Tough girl. I think she's going to come out there swinging. Christina Williams, 2-0 now. And Christina's got the biggest victory of her career so far when she defeated Heather Hardy by TKO. And then recently, Emily Ducati, who challenged Leigh McFarland for that women's flyweight title. So this is a pivotal matchup in the flyweight division. It's going to be fun. So more to come on the Fight Report. When we come back, we are talking to Casey Halstead from 10th Planet BJJ. More to come on the show, so stay tuned. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Hello, my name is Edgar Ibarra, and I'm very grateful for all the knowledge I received at the Illinois Media School. My 15-year career in radio has been a dream come true. I'm a radio DJ, I'm on the air, and I get to be a program director for 2 radio stations in Wisconsin. My dream became a reality with the Illinois Media School. Illinois Media School is a great school with great teachers and former students now working in the industry today on the radio stations you listen to and on the TV stations you watch every day. Illinois Media School, check it out. For more details, beonair.com.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. So many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School: financial aid for those who qualify, real-world hands-on experience, internships, and so much more. Don't just take my word for it. Set up a tour at one of the 2 Chicagoland locations. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports to learn more. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Last time on the K-Trade Show.
What do you think was on JR's mind? And he knew what the question meant.
Oh, yeah.
He knew what the question meant. I can read his mind. You sitting up there with Charlie Brown's shorts on and a suit.
Listen to Kevin Tregoning and my new partner.
Is heavyweight champion of the world. You know who I am is Robert Reflex.
On the K-Trade Show every Monday night from 7 to 9, only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
How's it going? My name is Edgar Ibarra, and I'm very grateful for all the knowledge I received at the Illinois Media School. My 15-year career in radio has been a dream come true. I'm a radio DJ, I'm on the air, and I get to be a program director for 2 radio stations in Wisconsin. My dream became a reality with the Illinois Media School. Illinois Media School is a great school with great teachers and former students now working in the industry today on the radio stations you listen to and on the TV stations you watch every day. Illinois Media School, check it out. For more details, beonair.com.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School, formerly Illinois Center for Broadcasting. So many reasons for you to consider Illinois Media School: financial aid for those who qualify, real-world hands-on experience, internships, and so much more. Don't just take my word for it. Set up a tour at one of the 2 Chicagoland locations. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports to learn more. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Can you catch
Here on the most action-packed 2 hours, I am your humble host, Sean Lennon, with the Fightlete Report. Right now, we are going to talk to none other than Casey Halstead on the Fightlete Report, of course, and he is going to be talking about a myriad of topics. Of course, we're talking about, a lot of different things. He's the 10th Planet Gym owner and operator of multiple locations and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach. And we'll discuss the fighters he trains with, including his student UFC middleweight Julian Marquez, who fights Alessio De Chirico at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale, July 6th in Las Vegas as well. And we'll give it right now. We welcome him on the Fightlete Report. Casey, thank you for taking time to be on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
No problem. It's a pleasure to have you on. Obviously people know of you because you're with 10th Planet BJJ. You're the owner operator, multiple locations, and also you train fighters as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, talk about how you got started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I know you're coming from a corporate background and you got to build gyms for 10th Planet.
Yeah, actually, I started as a kid doing wrestling, and then had like a pretty long hiatus, and then went through a divorce in my 20s, and then after that I found jiu-jitsu, and it's been full throttle ever since. Excellent, man. Yeah, what inspired you to start 10th Planet, like to start building these gyms? Well, there's a lot of politics in jiu-jitsu, and so coming up in an academy, my first jiu-jitsu academy, there's just a lot of constraints, and we were governed by tradition and the way that everybody did it. So once I got to a certain level of understanding, I started seeking out instructors that were kind of like-minded and encouraged thinking outside of the box. John-Jacques Machado is one of the greatest minds jiu-jitsu's ever had, and Eddie Bravo came from him, and so it just seemed like a perfect marriage. With my desire for information and evolving the sport, and 10th Planet just seemed like a perfect fit. So Eddie and I started working together, and the rest is history. Excellent. Like, how did you get a chance to meet Eddie Bravo? I would go out to the Hollywood location and train with him. And then, I actually had a school called Subtech MMA. After I left my first BJJ school, we opened our own school, and a couple of 10th Planet guys were popping because we were no gi. We were training jiu-jitsu for MMA. And so some 10th Planet guys would come in and hit it off pretty good. And then so I started making the pilgrimage to Hollywood to train with Eddie, and then we hit it off, and it just made sense to switch Subtech to 10th Planet Costa Mesa. Excellent, man. Yeah, I'm glad it's you're having a lot of success with it. Thanks. Thank you. How do you think Julian Marquez does? I know you said you're going to be cornering him against Alessio De Chirico at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale, and he won his debut against Darren Stewart by submission. What challenges do you believe his opponent brings? Oh man, Alessio was a very, very well-rounded fighter. In my research with him, I kind of determined that he's an athlete, and I don't think that he had a martial arts background, so he's well rounded. You know, when people are coming up now, they just kind of come up being good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Alessio is that guy. You know, so you know he's not a wrestler, he's not necessarily a striker or jiu-jitsu guy. I think he's pretty good at everything. He's also fought one of my friends, Eric Spicely, and Spicely ended up finishing him with a triangle. I think it's going to be a really competitive fight. I think we have Julian ready to go. I don't want to give up too much of the game plan, but Julian is one of the most athletic big guys I've ever seen, and pretty much I just look for Julian to push the pace and just melt him.
That should be exciting. Everybody, check it out. July 6th, Ultimate Fighter 27 finale. What in particular is your favorite submission for fighters to use? I heard recently from Vinny Magalhaes. He said he doesn't like the rear naked choke, even though he won by it at PFL 2. He says it's too easy to obtain. Anybody in a bar could basically put it on if they have like the proper knowledge, you know?
Yeah, you know, I train with Vinny a lot here in Vegas, and I agree. You know, I'll just go back to Eric Spicely again. You know, he had, I can't remember his opponent's name at the Ultimate Fighter finale last year. He had his back full body triangle, ended up not being able to secure the submission, and then coming out in the next round ended up getting stopped with a body shot. You see that all the time. People spend a whole entire round on someone's back and they can't get finished. So I think Vinny's observation on that is, you know, everybody's good at defending it because it happens just constantly in training. I personally like the side choke or the arm triangle. I think it's the safest position, that when it fails, you end up in the best position. So if someone grabs their leg and they turn away, they're going to give up their back. If they kind of bridge and circle towards you, you can drive them out. And then also, like, you know, going for an arm bar, you're just gonna, if you fail, you're in a really bad position. So we train a lot of side chokes. I think it's the safest. And when worst case scenario happens, you still end up in a good spot.
And Ashley Evans Smith, she performed well against Beck Rawlings. How do you feel like her BJJ factored into that victory? I know you've been working with her recently as well.
Yeah, I've had Ashley Evans Smith for a long time. This was the first camp that we didn't work together.
Okay.
Actually, you know, I mean, we did a little bit of jiu-jitsu together, but I'm here in Vegas now, and she's in Orange County, so she's still part of the team. Like, she's still trained at 10th Planet Costa Mesa with my other coaches down there. But Ashley seemed to come into her own on this fight. I mean, she was really good. She was applying a lot of pressure. Her cardio seemed to hold up. So, you know, I know that the team down in Orange County, Tyler Wombles with Classic Fight Team, Chewy with Raw Talent, and then Mario Navarro, they got her like tuned in, and she's doing pretty good. Yeah, I was impressed with her win.
And how do you feel about the EBI and the other grappling-only events? Like, where they need to be to get more interest and more viewers? I think they're doing really well already. You know, you get to see all the pay-per-view buys that a lot of these events do. But what do you feel like they need to do to get more of the public interest?
That's a great question, actually, and one of the things that I think with EBI that we need to get more people that compete in IBJJF. I mean, the females that just happened this last weekend, there was a lot of IBJJF competitors in there. And I think we just kind of need to get back to the root of what jiu-jitsu is all about. Jiu-jitsu is not about winning on an advantage point. It's about winning by submission. And, you know, it's actually like honing your submission skills. And I think that once the IBJJF guys start to come over and compete in EBI more, I think that the general mainstream jiu-jitsu people are going to like cater to, you know, like Eddie says it all the time. If you go to an IBJJF tournament, there's no spectators in there that don't do jiu-jitsu. It's the only ones that don't do jiu-jitsu that are watching IBJJF tournaments are family members. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty much jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu. And Eddie Bravo is trying to make EBI at least kind of like the UFC. You know, there's people that watch the UFC that don't train at all.
Right.
And EBI is trying to create a spectator sport, but we need to get support of like the traditional schools that have like bought into the IBJJF. There's nothing wrong with that. IBJJF is really great, but let's face it, 90% of BJJ practitioners are training at a school that's IBJJF heavy. A lot of schools are training advantage points and those kind of things, and EBI doesn't care about it. So I think education needs to happen first, and acceptance, throughout the jiu-jitsu community would really help the sport push forward. And we're just trying to get people paid, honestly. EBI wants to reward people for submitting people.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome, and people should embrace it more, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I hope we get to see, have more of a presence, moving forward.
Yeah, I think it will. Kenzo Gracie's team in New York, and then of course all the 10th Planet schools have really embraced the no-gi submission only. Unfortunately, we have to put time limits on things because we can't have matches going an hour and a half. As a spectator sport, so we keep adding. We want to take the referee out of it completely if possible, but then you would end up with like one match in a whole day and nobody would watch. So we're kind of stuck in a little pickle here, but we're figuring it out. It's evolving, and we just had Firas Hobby here at the Coaches Summit.
Okay.
And Eddie Bravo and I and Firas were upstairs on the mat, like working some leg locks, and we were talking EDI rules, and there's some really interesting concepts. And there might be some rule changes coming up that would really benefit just the entertainment value.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I know definitely looking forward to that. And I know.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry?
Julian Marquez just walked up right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's we just got done training this morning, and I'm sitting outside, and he just came walking up.
Oh, nice. Well, I wish him best of luck. We hope he has a great performance at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale. And I was just gonna say, I hope like the UFC Fight Pass is a driving force on these events, making them better.
Oh yeah, Fight Pass is great. They're doing a lot of cross promotional stuff, and that's pretty much how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And UFC's definitely helped us out a lot.
And Tony Ferguson, is he trained at your gym in Costa Mesa? I believe one of the 10 planets.
Yeah, we don't train together anymore, but we did in the past from UFC 166 when he fought Mike Rio, all the way to the Gleason T-Val fight in LA, the very first LA card we worked together. And then after that, Eddie Bravo took over for me.
Yeah, well, since
Eddie is directly his coach now.
Oh, okay. Well, have you heard anything about him since the injury happened and where his head might be at?
He's the most confident person I've ever met in my life. I've never met another human that believes that they should be the champion as much as that young man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't talk to him on the daily, but I know for a fact that he's crossing his T's and dotting his I's, and he's going to come back with a vengeance, I promise you.
And you have a prediction for Brad Tavares and Israel Adonizé? That's going to be the finale main event?
Yeah, man. Brad, I would never pick against Brad Tavares ever. That dude is a savage.
Yeah. And from what you gather, how do you think the fight's going to go on for him?
I'm so busy. Like we have a bunch of fighters on Contenders. Actually,
Okay.
like last week I had Yaz Haji. Today, actually, I gotta shoot over there in about 10 minutes. I've got Julian Arosa fighting, and then we're heading out to Phoenix for LFA. I've got Andy Varela fighting there, and then we come back for Julian's fight. I mean, we have this summer's crazy for us. So I really haven't game planned it, to be quite honest, but I do get to see Brad Tavares spar a lot.
Okay.
And it's going to be a barn burner, and I know that he's going to bring it. I know that.
Excellent. Well, hey, I want to thank you, Casey, for taking time to be on the Fight Report today, and best of luck, of course, for Julian Marquez on July 6th, and hopefully see you out there for International Fight Weekend.
Awesome. We'll see you. Come into the gym. Let's get some rounds in.
All right, for sure. I'll come by and do some interviews.
All right. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Appreciate you.
You too, Casey. Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
You too. Well, that was Casey Halstead on the Fight Report, and we are all out of time. So next time, come back on the Fight Report.
15-year career radio has been a dream come true. I'm a radio DJ. I'm on the air, and I get to be a program director for 2 radio stations